It's our 75th year of independence and the nation is set to witness a landmark change. Adding not just a new chapter to its rich history, but one of the most significant in recent memory. Indian democracy, the largest in the world, now has a new home, one that ushers in a new era. Here's all that you need to know about India's new parliament. First things first, the big question. Why did we need a new parliament building? Now the answer to that is quite simple, because the existing one is very old. It's been in use for nearly a century, and while it has seen small modifications to adjust to shifting demands, with rising safety concerns and the infrastructure turning obsolete, it is about time India had one that reflected a new age. The next question, who initiated the idea of having a new building? Well, it was in 2012 when then Lok Sabha Speaker Meera Kumar gave the green signal to set up a committee to recommend an alternate plan away from the old iconic existing Parliament House. A letter from the Lok Sabha Secretariat in 2012 to the Union Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs approved the plan for a new parliament, and the letter underlined that it was top priority. But then there was no real action taken thereafter. In 2015, Speaker Sumitra Mahajan echoed a similar view, claiming that the existing Parliament House was in great distress and did not meet the growing demand for space. A letter then was shot off to then Urban Development Minister Venkaiah Naidu. Now, after years of contemplation, things started to take shape after the Modi government stormed back to power in 2019, and that begins our timeline of events. In August 2019, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla confirms that a new building is in consideration. In September 2019, a month later, the government conceives a master plan, the redevelopment of the Central Vista Avenue, which will see a new parliament building, a new office and residence for the Prime Minister, as well as the residence for the Vice President. August 2020. Now, after the initial lockdown was lifted, the bidding process was initiated by the Central Public Works Department. In September 2020, exactly a year after the initial plan was announced, Tata Projects Limited wins the bid for the construction of the building at 862 crore rupees. December 2020, by the close of the year, the foundation stone of the new building was laid by Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
भारत अपनी आजादी के 75 वर्ष का पर्व मनाए तो उस पर्व की साक्षात प्रेरणा हमारी संसद की नई इमारत बने.
In April 2021, the construction was also marred by multiple controversies. With the deadly second outbreak of COVID, multiple pleas were filed to halt the construction. But a month later, in May 2021, the Delhi High Court bench dismissed all of it, underlying it was an essential project of national importance and something the public is widely interested in. In September 2021, with the construction in full swing, Prime Minister Modi makes a visit to the construction site to oversee proceedings. In December 2021, and by the end of the year, 35% of the building is complete. In July 2022, cut to summer 2022, and the second big photo op happens. Prime Minister Modi unveils the cast of the national emblem on top of the new parliament building. In August 2022, a month later, Tata confirms that the main structure of the new parliament building is complete. In January 2023, the moment that we've all waited for, ahead of the budget session this year, pictures of what the parliament would look like were released. In March 2023, 2 months later, Prime Minister Modi makes a surprise visit to the parliament late at night, giving us a glimpse of what both the houses would look like. In May 2023, and that's on the 18th of this month, the head of Lok Sabha, Speaker Om Birla, invites Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate the new building. The date set is 28th May, the birth anniversary of Veer Savarkar. And finally, how is the new parliament different from the old one? It's got more representation and the seating capacity is more. Here's how. The Lok Sabha currently seats 545. The new one will have 888 seats. The 245 seats in today's Rajya Sabha will increase to 384 seats in the new house. The present Central Hall has just 440 seats. The new complex, while it won't have a new Central Hall, but the Lok Sabha chamber will have space for 1,272 in case of a joint session. Okay, so now you know all about the new Parliament building, but what happens to the old one? There's a plan there too. The old Parliament House will be refurbished with multiple changes and will supplement the new building whenever necessary. A part of it will also serve as an extensive Parliament library and memorial. Now, the opposition has been up in arms, questioning the need for a new Parliament House and whether it is right for the Prime Minister to inaugurate the building when the head of the state is the President. That war of words will continue in an angry political year. But India's public, with whose tax money both the houses were built and function, have the simplest question of them all. Can we expect more Parliament and less pandemonium? Cut. So we told you about the new Parliament building, which will be inaugurated on May 28 by Prime Minister Modi. And the Sengol ceremony is going to be the centerpiece of that event. You've heard a lot about it. Let's tell you a little bit about how 1947 will be recreated in 2023.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
This landmark tryst carries a backstory. A backstory rarely told. A backstory that dates back to the Chola Empire, a Tamil dynasty that originated in the Kaveri Valley and ruled the region for over 500 years until the 13th century. Just before the Union Jack came down and 300 years of British rule ended. The transfer of power was emblematically encapsulated in the Tamil ceremony. Priests from prominent Tamil mutts carried a 5-foot scepter, sprinkled it with holy water, and handed it to Pandit Nehru at his Delhi home at sunset on August 14th. This wasn't an ordinary symbol of sovereignty, called Sengol, derived from the Sanskrit word shank or a conch, surmounted by a carving of Nandi, Shiva's sacred bull. The golden staff, made by craftsmen in what was then called Madras, was modelled after the wand that the Chola kings would hand to their successors. The choice wasn't random. It was the outcome of deep thoughts and research. Pandit Nehru turned to freedom fighter C. Rajagopalachari for suggestions regarding a symbol for the transfer of power from the British to the Indians. Rajagopalachari found the answer in history. He contacted a leading mutt down south to create the Sengol of the Chola tradition. Its seer then commissioned the job to the famous Bumidi Bangaru jewelers.
The scepter was done by my great-grandfather and my grandfather. So, I mean, even just to make the replica itself is like such a proud moment for us. I could have imagined how it would have felt for them, because they actually symbolized the transfer of power, and it's a great honor for my family to have been able to make this and give it to our government at that day.
The Sengol was rebuilt in 30 days.
It was not lost. I think it went down memory lane. So we didn't know where it was. Thanks to, I think, the media Ananda Vigadan, it was revived. It was known. And then one of our family clan took the effort of backtracking it and seeing it in Allahabad, sending people there and going through the whole process.
Revived from the Chola region, handed to independent India's first Prime Minister. Mislabeled in a museum as Pandit Nehru's walking stick. Set to be reinstalled in India's new parliament, the historic Bengal story has come a full circle in 2023. Bureau Report, India Today.
Thank you for watching this very special broadcast. Stay tuned to India Today. News and updates will continue on the other side of this very short break.